Woo! Boom! Shakalaka. Shh, gotta be quiet. My daughter might be sleeping in the room next door. So anyway, how did Darin Steen become a semi-pro linebacker, hold the all-time tackling record for Olivet Nazarene University, still to this day, 28 years after graduation, with 529 career tackles, where the Chicago Bears actually hold their training camp in Bourbon, Illinois? And how did he try out for the Bears in 1988 for 2 days up at Platteville, Wisconsin, and get to hang around Jim McMahon, the Fridge, Dent, McMichael, Perry, all the boys, RoboCop, Dewerson, Fensick? I think Fensick was retired. How did he do that when he was average athletic ability and he was 5'2", 110 pounds his freshman year? It's fun talking about Darin like he's not here. I would say in high school, at Herscher High School, I was average athletic ability. My freshman year, I was 5'2", 110 pounds my freshman year, and they used to beat the crap out of me. Why did they elect me team captain my senior year in high school? Why did they elect me team captain 3 years in college, sophomore, junior, senior year? Why did they elect me team captain at Joliet Chiefs semi-pro football team when I was just average ability and I was really small? Well, I got a story. I was average athletic ability, but I never stopped. I was really tough. I would get knocked down, I'd get back up, and I'd get back in the play. Sort of like Rudy Rudiger off of the movie Rudy. But there's a story I want to tell in particular about a turning point in college. My freshman year in college, I came to Olivet Nazarene College, I think it was then, because it turned university after I started there. And I started on defense as a cornerback, a defensive backfield. I wasn't a linebacker, I wasn't a defensive end. I was too small, most likely to play basically Division III football. But the defense wasn't that good. The team wasn't that good. The year before they were 3-7, and so I started my first year. I contributed because I was tough. I got about 90 or 100 tackles on varsity my first year. I was like really happy. So it was great to start and play. So the second year, their middle linebacker graduated and they needed a middle linebacker. So I went from a defensive secondary person, a cornerback, starting on varsity, maybe 5'9.5", 175 pounds. Not super strong, not lifting a lot of weights yet in the weight room. And I wasn't that strong either. That's another thing. In high school, the most I ever bench press was 210 pounds. That was my max. Today, that's laughable. And so they moved me to middle linebacker my sophomore year, my second year in college. I was shaking in my shoes, scared to death. So thankfully, one game before the season started, I hurt my medial collateral ligament, strained it, and I instead of getting, I had to set out the whole year. So I got to redshirt. During that year of redshirting, I had a fire lit underneath my butt. I had to gain weight. I had to get stronger because I was going to be middle linebacker in Division III college, and I was scared, man. I never played linebacker in high school. Robbie Irwin was way tougher than me. Those guys, Vic Wells, those guys were way stronger and tougher than me in high school. And so I was scared, but I had a whole year to eat mama's home cooking because I lived at home with mom, and work out and be scared. Had a fire lit underneath my ass though. So I gained about 25 pounds maybe, came in at 205, 210. And it's the preseason. The coach, first time in my life, taught me that we had to, as a linebacker, saw Brian Urlacher's video the other day, they had keys or reads. I would have two things. I'd watch the hands of the lineman, and when the lineman's hand would do this, I would go there. I wouldn't watch the running back or the ball because they fake you out. So if the lineman's hand did this, I went over there. So they're called reads. I didn't trust the system because I never did it before. But my coach lit a fire underneath my ass, and he said, listen, if you see this hand of the lineman you're watching, your key, go do like this, you fly like a hibachi, like a kamikaze to this spot because the ball's going to go to that spot. And I said, okay. This other team had this running back that supposedly tried out for the Dallas Cowboys. He was Division I NCAA material, and when you'd see him, he'd have his shirt cut off and his ripped abs were showing, and he'd be breathing like a deer if you could ever get him down, like a crazed animal. And this guy was amazing running back. So we were intimidated. I think it was St. Joe's in Rensselaer, Indiana, was where he played. It was a preseason game because they were Division II NCAA. So they were like the big boys, right? So we go to this preseason game. It's at Olivet Nazarene University, and I'm unsure myself. It was the first time I'd ever started at middle linebacker in my entire life. Whoops. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. Quarterback gets up there, red, white, hut, blue. And so the ball snaps. I see the offensive lineman's hand, my key, do this, and I'm like, all right. In my mind, I'm like, I'm flying over this spot, not knowing what the hell I'm doing, but I went 110%. And all of a sudden, there's this boom in my mind. It goes blank. I don't see anything, and all of a sudden, the Olivet fans are like, woo! I hear this applause. I feel this spine tingling, and I feel this amazing sensation that felt like effortless when you swing a bat easily and you hit a home run, and it's just so easy and smooth. And I picked this guy up, not knowing what I was doing, not knowing that I had the ball carrier, and I pile drived him 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and the crowd goes nuts, and my teammates are slapping me, high five. I tackled this elite runner that had tried out for the Dallas Cowboys, and one of the best tackles I've ever had in my life, and I didn't even know it. But the reason why was I trusted my coach. I had a fire lit underneath my ass. I went 110 miles an hour, and I went to the spot he told me that the ball would be at. That one play was the turning point in Darin Steen believing that he could be a middle linebacker at Division III college football. The rest is history. That sophomore year, that redshirted year, I got 110 tackles on varsity. I went on every year to do something similar. Ended up with 529 career tackles, I think, or 539. 539 career tackles. It's still a record to this day. I was inducted into the Olivet Nazarene University Hall of Fame. Went on and played a year of semi-pro football in Joliet. Actually, 2 years. Tried out for the Chicago Bears in 1988. Got cut. Did not make it. Never played any NFL football. And the next day, I redirected my passion for lifting weights into what bodybuilders were doing to be lean and have abs. And I've been doing that ever since. Now, in my last 10 years, it's more about de-stressing and not feeling like an old man, rehabbing injuries, but still training like a bodybuilder so that I can be the best role model I can for my clients who hire me for fat loss and my companies who hire me for fat loss and health and energy and sleeping better and thinking better. So that's my story on one thing on one day that allowed me to become a pretty good football player. Comment below, share this if you think it can motivate and inspire somebody. To my knowledge, that's what I believe happened. It's been a long time ago. Mike Grimsley and the boys, Robbie Irwin, Vic Wells, chime in on this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, everybody sees things from their perspective. But that's the one thing that helped me become a pretty damn good football player. Love you. You do have the power to change to make the rest of your life, woo, the best of your life.